Today we're going to be working on some more of the in-game UI. Last time we kind of roughed things up with this interface here, and I think today we're going to be modifying our UI to fit this. Okay, so let's see. One of the things we did was we created this background. This one right here, and this is a good start. Let's see, we've got that glow in there. Maybe we should add a little bit of shadow coming in from the sides. You can't really notice it. The other thing I wanted to try was taking our logo resize this, image size 1920. Okay, image adjustments, black and white. Let's take this, oops, free transform. And then I want to set this to it just detracts from it. So we're going to leave this the same. I think that's fine. We need to, in our client UI, so we've got this fade, we've got the color. Let's take a look at this. Let's copy this. Background image, we're going to call this gradient. And we're going to set rename this gradient background. Then we've got a client UI. Now what handles the Alright, let's do let's see. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new object here. 111,000. Move this to the top. We're going to call this client background. Let's go to our scripts folder. Client, no, UI. Let's create client background handler. Okay. Alright, we're going to be using UnityEngine.ui and alright, we're going to serialize this field. This is going to be an image. No. We're going to control this with a canvas group fader. Let's close all but this. Let's see, client, UI. Here's the connection UI. So that canvas group fader, yeah, I see. This is going to be called gray background fader. This one's going to be called color, and this one's going to be called gradient. We're going to listen to client events instance client UI mode changed. Let's rename this. Okay, so if mode dot none gray background fader, how do we do this, is active. Color background fader is active. Gradient. Okay. Connection. For the connection, we're going to turn that one off, turn this one on, and then for everything else, we're going to leave the gradient on and the other ones off. There we go. Alright, let's move these under this. This is going to have to be a rect transform. Before we do that, let's do this first. Okay. Let's get those anchors. There we go. So that's full. Now we've got this canvas group here. Let's try it first this way. I don't know if this has to be a child or if we can just do it right on this. Yeah, so that should work. And then we'll paste this here as well. Let's do the same thing here with the other two. And we'll copy this one as well. Okay, and then we'll get rid of that simple UI fade component. And we'll move these underneath. Add our script client background handler. Here's the gray color and gradient. Okay. Now let's test that out. We'll see how that goes. Well, that didn't work. Let's see. Canvas group fader is active false, is active true. Now we've got this for BG flipped. Okay, so we need to turn up the color on this. Interesting. Oh, okay, so each of these needs a reference to a canvas group. Otherwise, that's not going to work. Can't, no, not right now. He really wants to sit on my lap because he thinks I forgot that he needs food, and his food bowls are actually just in the dishwasher. Okay. We're starting the game again. Okay, now we didn't get the... let's see here. Set active canvas group, client UI mode, mode. We'll move this code in here, then we'll pass this along, and then we'll call this at the start set active canvas, and we'll do client.instance.ui mode, so that way we get it right at the start. I feel like I much prefer to do things through code than I do through the UI. And there's so many ways you can do the same thing. Interesting. Let's see what happened there. Now setting UI mode to connection. Okay, at the start, our client has a UI mode of none, which is fine. Let's see this again. So we've got the gray, but it's starting to transition out. But we haven't gotten a UI mode changed event. All right, let's try commenting out this line, and then we'll start as active. Let's try that. So it fades in, good. Now we change the connection, very nice. And we log in, and we get this interface, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, now this navigation bar up here, navigation bar, background image, no. Oh, I see, the navigation bar has some handle on this. So let's modify that because we don't want anything to play with that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, but where is the actual image? Lobby navigation. Is this our image? Yeah, it is. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, let's put a black background underneath this. Okay. Now, can I put a glow on this? I can. Because I want to make it pop a little bit, but that glow right there is way too strong. If I set native size, yeah, okay, that fucks with it pretty hard. Okay, image, canvas size, pixels, let's make this 1800. Image, canvas size, pixels, height, to 200. Let's move this so that it's flush against the top. Delete everything here. I'm going to grab black, fill, and let's do an outer glow. And I think our glow color should be like a light-ish tan color to match the you know, the consistency with everything else. I think we bring that opacity way down. A stroke really cancels out everything, doesn't it? Yeah. Did we have a drop shadow on this before? Is that what it is? Yeah, it is. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of that drop shadow first. Yeah, because we don't have this same frame in game. So we can go ahead and clean this up. That wasn't very smooth. Okay. At least this part's easy. Okay. And then I'll do the circular parts with a brush. Okay, let's grab a brush, hard edges, scale that up. Let's do clear, 100% opacity. Let's scale this up a little bit more. not bad. Okay. Really trying not to cut into the actual artwork here. Same thing on the other side. Alright, I'd say that's pretty clean. Let's change this to black again. And we're going to do our outer glow again. Yeah, much cleaner. Much cleaner. Let's grab that light tan color. Let's do size. There we go. Let's bring that opacity down. Now, can we do a stroke on this? We can. That'll create a bit of our contrast. Let's do 2 pixels and then we'll bring that opacity down. Oh, okay. So it's not letting me play with the opacity there. It's either on or off. That kind of sucks. It's too bad there's no way to okay. Let's try this. We're going to do another layer. Let's do white again. And for this, we're going to duplicate the layer, turn one of them off so we have a backup copy. Let's do a single stroke on the center. I'm not sure I like that. No, let's go back. Just play with that outer glow again. Too bad there isn't like a way for us to create just a little bit of spacing there. Well, I think I'm overthinking this probably, as I usually do. So let's just try something and plug it in and let's just see how it looks. Blow up that size a little bit and then bring the opacity down. And get rid of this background, this layer. Okay, image trim. Let's get rid of those pixels we don't need. And we'll save this again. Now that shrunk our frame, but we do have a nice glow on this. If we look at this in play mode. It's not bad. You know, our buttons need resizing and things, but it's not bad. I do still think that a nice black outline would be very, very nice on this. I think I'm not done playing with this yet. So that's just a 1 pixel stroke right there. Oh, I left my background on. So you can see here, we've got a nice sharp edge here. It does make it pop a little bit. Changed it to 2 pixels. Let's see if that's any better or worse. Yeah, it's not the best. And especially here, we've got some kind of like roughness here. Not a very good look. Alright, I've got an idea. Okay, let's try something. So we're going to turn that stroke off. We're going to keep this layer. We're going to duplicate this. Again, once again, we're going to do a white layer underneath. So let's play with this one. And we're going to do an outer glow. We're going to do it normal black. Really high opacity. Really small size. Make that real nice and thick here. Then we're going to duplicate this just so we have a copy. We're going to rasterize this layer. Now let's select our actual art and we'll cut that out. So now we have this you know, shadow here. So now we're going to turn on our, call this shadow. Now we're going to turn this on again. Is this the one with the black? Yeah, that's the copy. This is the one with the actual, there we go. Okay, so now you can see we've got this double effect here. We've got a very strong shadow, and then we've still got our outer glow. I think what that means is we can take our outer glow, increase the size a little bit, and increase the glow a little bit as well. Okay, let's see how that looks. Very nice. Yeah, that makes it pop. It really does. I think we can take the shadow and bring that down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. And then what about this outer glow? If we change this to precise, how does that look? No, that's pretty awful. I think our glow is a little bit strong now. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go back to our navigation bar. We've got lobby navigation. Let's turn that on again. Now our buttons aren't fitting into this right now. Okay, so we lost a little bit of size, so I want to stretch this a little bit. We're keeping I thought preserve aspect ratio was on here. Interesting. So that previously wasn't on. So we're going to turn that on. We're going to fix this. Okay, let's have this scale with the parent. And then we're going to adjust this. And my work area is so small. Come on. So we're going to scale this up a little bit. Oh, that's way too big. Okay. Wow, okay, that was... No, not this. We have to reload our client scene. Sometimes the UI does this and it really sucks. You can undo, but it won't fix it. Alright, let's do client UI, navigation bar, lobby navigation. Okay. We'll call this background image. Let's preserve aspect. We're going to scale this with the parent. There we go. Let's disable these buttons for just a little bit while we work on this. So that's how large our menu is right now. So I'm going to save real quick just in case that bug happens again. So just dragging it down, we make it larger. And then we can scale. Just want to grab these anchors here. Interesting, they won't let me I see, because that's the navigation bar height. I see. We're going to have that scale left to right. No! Oh my god. Macro, down. Come on. Alright, navigation bar. Have this scale from left to right, and we'll bring this down just a little bit. Okay, which lets us take this. Oh my god, every time. Navigation bar. Okay. So we know we want to stretch this left and right all the way. So let's do that. We'll save. So can't lose that now. And we'll bring this, and we're going to stretch this down just a little bit. Good, and save. Now let's go to our lobby navigation. Take the handles, and they still only go that far. Why? Why? Why won't this handle come down? Oh well. Whatever. I guess we'll just leave it. It's strange because our anchors here are set to scale, you know, so you would think if we drag this, this would... It does actually. But what is this here? Why? What is this line here? Is that the loadout? If I disable these, do I still have that line? I do. I wish I knew what that was. Alright, we're gonna leave that. Let's fix the lobby navigation. So we've got our background image. Let's get our play button. Now, the play button should fit. Oh wow, what is this? So we've got the background, and then we've got the button itself. Okay, let's play with that. Okay, interesting. So it looks like we've got a canvas group here. Not really sure why we would need, oh, because when you're queued up, well, I don't think we're going to need this canvas group here. So let's get rid of this tooltip. We're going to take that tooltip and just put it right on the button. Okay. Play button background, and then we're going to call, well, you know what? This recess is already built into our interface, so we don't really need that. I'll call this play button. Okay, now let's just scale this correctly. Get that fitting nice and snug. Okay, that's pretty decent. Let's adjust our handles so that this always scales correctly. So if we resize this, it will still scale correctly. Now let's do the left menu buttons. So they got moved quite a bit. This is a horizontal layout group, okay. And I want to move this here and here. Okay. Let's see, horizontal fit. So if I try to resize this, it stops me. Control child size, let's do width and height. Oh, that's fantastic. Alright, let's save that, reload our client scene. Really, so we kept that, that's great. Navigation bar, lobby, left menu buttons. Put our anchors in the center. Come on. There we go. Well, we can't, okay. There we go, that's what we wanted. Unconstrained is the option that we wanted there. Alright, let's fit these here and here. Okay, that looks decent. Let's get those anchors. Okay. So this is the profile. Okay, let's take a look at so let's take a look at our icon folder. Unit customization button. Here's our icon. got that. Okay, we've got that. So that's our. We've got two different icons for ladder. I mean, what do we actually want our top buttons to be? We want them to be, you know, unit customization for sure. And let's move that to the left. We definitely want to be able to display a match history, and then we need some like a page for competitive info. We definitely want like a player profile icon. There we go. That's what we want. So let's put that in here. And we're going to plug in the profile icon. There we go. Okay, macro, I swear to God. Come here. All right. Usually I don't mind him being here, but today it's just in and out. Oh, by the way, hey Sully, how are you, man? You're my animator, right? I think I remember the username. Or former animator, I guess would be the term. Okay, let's fix this one. So right menu options, so we wanted to not force expand, but we wanted to control this. And then here we want unconstrained. And we can set our width again. So let's adjust this from here to here, here to here. Okay. Check that against the other side. I think we need to go over and down a little bit. Okay. So this is our logout button, this is our settings button, and then, okay, let's set our anchors for this. The same height, that's the same height. Okay. I think we need to move this over just a tiny bit. Yeah, okay. Let's set our anchors for this. Where are our anchors? Okay, that's 1 and 2. Okay, so previously we had this as the store button. We're going to do the unlock button since we're going to have players unlocking. Look at that icon. Okay, set native size? No. Preserve aspect? Yeah, we do want that. Now let's scale you down. Move this over. Still a little bit big. Okay, and we'll have that scale with its parent. There's our settings button. Let's make sure that scaling is good. Yeah, logout button, same thing. Very nice. Okay, so let's save this real quick and let's see what happens when we scale this up. Not exactly what we wanted. Interesting. What am I missing here? I'll fix the text on this at least. Let's see, best fit. Okay, we'll have it go from here to here. Let's adjust those anchors. Okay, I don't know why saving kind of fixes that text, but whatever. It's really strange that it works that way. You know, our button here is tied to this, so when we make this bigger, our button should scale. But you see it's staying. Let's try something here. If we set that to full size, no, it doesn't scale either. It's really strange. And if we bring this in, everything scales inwards. Very interesting. Okay, I think we're gonna have to redo this one more time. So let's take all of this stuff here and we're gonna move this out for a little bit. Then we're going to take our navigation bar, our lobby navigation, okay, and our background image, and set native size. Interesting. Okay, so let's, that's the native width. Interesting. All right, so if we set this here to here, and then if we take this, let's save real quick. Let's see here. We change the ratio. Why does this have two of these? It's very interesting. Okay, so let's try this again. If I change this to 1024, 768, so it scaled the width there, and it looks like what we have is what we wanted. Putting it back, it scales again. So now, if I take this, okay, that doesn't change. And then changing the width does scale it. Okay, that's fine with me, I think. Let's take that play button, and we're going to move that up again. Let's go ahead and adjust that again. Okay, now save real quick. If we take the navigation bar, now the play button, well, it's trying. If we make those anchors just all the way, will it scale evenly? No, it scales much faster. Man. I thought I understood this stuff. I guess not. So why doesn't it scale the height there? Interesting. Because I have it at the right height that I want it at. It's weird, man. So if I make this 1024 768, it still scales okay. I think we'll just settle for making it scale with that resolution for now. Alright, once again, set these. From here to here. Alright. Let's set our anchors. Okay, let's save that. Now let's try changing our resolution, 1024, 768. Still looks nice. We do have this space at the top here. Wonder why that is. We have no space there. Interesting. So if we uncheck that, it still looks good. Okay, so we'll leave that unchecked then. this play button, let's see. I feel like we've got some kind of weird outline on this here. Whatever, that's not important. Let's focus on important things today. Okay, navigation bar, let's fix you. Okay. Alright, so on logout button, I'm going to move this over real quick. On unit customization button clicked, public void. On profile button clicked, public void. On competitive button clicked, public void. On unlock button clicked, and public void on settings button clicked. Okay, so we've got all of our functions here. We don't have unit customization. Okay, let's go with that. We've got all of our buttons, so we'll, or the functions that our buttons will click into. Let's keep some techno going here. This bar, we have a UI slider, so the disabled position has this at 88, so that's up here. But we want our enabled position to be slightly, let's see, slightly higher. So we'll do 3 as our enabled position. Okay, I like that. Alright, let's fix these buttons. Oh, navigation bar, let me see, the play button. Okay, so we've got a missing event here, so we'll fix that one as well. Public void on play button clicked. Okay, so let's fix this one first. So we've got the navigation bar on play button clicked. Now we'll work our way through these buttons here, unit customization button. So navigation bar, unit customization. We've got nothing here, so let's plug that in. Navigation bar on profile button clicked. Plug in our navigation again. Navigation bar on competitive button. I'm calling it the competitive button because it'll be an interface for anything to do with ranked play. So it'll be, and I don't have all the details figured out, which is another reason why. Let's see, on unlock button, let's get rid of this one. Navigation bar on settings button, navigation bar on, logout button. Okay. So let's turn that off. Let's save this. Let's hit play and let's see what happens. Okay, let's go ahead and log in. Okay, there's our our info. It's not bad. Now we've got this matchmaking UI tab. We're gonna really overhaul this thing. Let's go ahead and just disable that for a second. So that's what our background looks like. There was, let me see, managed resources, UI. Let's see, was it under UI prefabs? Player portrait. Come on, what was this? Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of what we were thinking about doing for the player. And it scales decently. It's not bad. So we kind of wanted that. Let's put it flush top left. Nice. Okay. So I think we can improve on this a little bit. Okay. So the matchmaking UI tab, let's go ahead and turn that on. Let's turn off this whole thing here. Let's do a player portrait. We do want, okay, there it is. Okay, so the achievements, let's just get rid of that for now. The icon background, do we have a mask or anything on this? No. Let's see, the rank indicator. How would that look if we just put that in there? If we got rid of that as well. Portrait. What is this? That's the whole thing, okay. I see. We kind of baked that into that. So that rank indicator, it's all made up of separate images. I see, okay. Player icons, I think I'm going to trim the fat here on some of the scope and just drop that. So this portrait backdrop, I think we need to restore the inside here. So RTS, assets, burn blade UI, sliced images. Let's see, do I have an unmodified version of this anywhere? No. Alright, let's see. Let's go back to the previews. Let's preview this. So let's see, where did I get that from? Did I just make that myself? Is that what I did? I think it looks like I did. Okay, so let's try to save ourselves some work here. We've got this bubble here, which is really cool. I think we just need a background. So let's do, okay, we're gonna grab this circle here. Let's move this underneath. Let's do a gradient. So we're gonna do gradient. We're gonna go from black to this color. I want radial. Let's do reverse. Okay. Now let's, I knew that was going to be too extreme, so let's bring those colors a little bit closer together. Okay. Let's put a stroke on this. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this bubble and we're going to put that over the top. Select inverse, come on. Free transform. Yeah, so we're gonna have our player name, stats here, and then we'll put the actual rank icon in there so that the rank icon is what looks the best. That's what we'll do. All right. Now this divider. Oops. No. Let's duplicate this. Move it over. Oh God, what did I do here? All right, clean this up. Okay, that's not awful. Could be better, but it's not awful. Alright, we're not going to need that bubble for this. Let's go ahead and save this. Okay, now let's go ahead and disable this for a minute. Icon foreground, we're actually going to make this the bubble. Okay. It's not very transparent, is it? same one I just used? No. Is it? It is. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Let's make this somewhat transparent. Let's go ahead and enable our rank indicator for just a little bit. And that's going to be underneath the bubble. Now we're going to need a mask here. Let's turn this off. Oops, come on. Bubble mask. I'm going to add a mask component. Jesus Christ. That's not what I wanted. Don't want to show the mask graphic. Put that inside the bubble. Have it stretch with this. And then let's take our rank indicator. Put that in there. So it is getting cut off, but not very elegantly. Could just make it smaller. Oh man, that is sharp cutting right there. Alright. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so I think the mask is a dead idea because it cuts things way too hard. We're just going to put the rank indicator small enough inside of... Oh, that's not scaling correctly. Whatever. Scale. Put that in there. Okay, we've got the bubble. How much do we want this to overlay this? Looks pretty good. I think we can make some modifications to this. So we've got the bubble there. This is our line fix. Here's our background. Now what if we made this our foreground, and let's see, select inverse, free transform, and we just made this take up all of that. Okay. Yeah, that's much better, much better. And that affords us a larger rank indicator as well. Very nice. Yeah, I like the way that looks. That's much better. Yeah. Okay, so what is this? Icon background. Yeah, we don't need that. Background. Okay, we got the rank indicator, and we'll be doing some work on this for sure. Could make that a child of the bubble. Yeah, I think that's a smart idea. So the bubble, does that fit nicely? Maybe a little bit more here. More out here. Okay, that's not bad. All right, let's adjust our anchors. Very good. Our rank indicator, we're going to have that scale with the full size. Then let's do, we've got games played icon. Let's do a ranking icon. Let's see. Maybe a skull. A skull doesn't really signify anything, does it? We do have a nice rank icon we can reuse. Is there anything else that we could use? Current rank, current yellow icon. Let's make this a little bit narrower. I'm going to put that over here. Set those anchors. Oops. Come on. So hard to click sometimes. Okay. Yellow text. Let's see. I want to move this over a little bit. Maybe to here. Yeah. Okay. Yellow icon. Let's move that over a little bit. Okay. Then we've got our games played and our games played icon. Let's move those both over. Very good. Let's just adjust those anchors. Games played icon. Okay, then our player name, we can make this stretch from here to here, and we're going to center that text. So let's get those anchors. Okay. All right. I really like that. That looks pretty good, and everything scales really well. That's nice. We're going to have this best fit. Let's make this a little bit narrower. Then we'll adjust our anchors again. Okay. So if we scale this, the name scales nicely with the font. Very good, very good. Now let's go ahead and take our navigation bar and we're going to turn this on so that we can size this correctly. So we know that we want to, our matchmaking UI, let's just scale that to the full size. Okay. And then the player portrait, we're going to have our anchor in the top left. And then we're going to have this scale like so. Okay, so if we change our resolution to 1024, I see it gets a lot skinnier and we've distorted something there. That's not quite right. Player portrait. Let's move these handles here. Now if we do this again, let's see, same result. Yeah, it's getting fatter. It's not quite right. The background, did we preserve the aspect ratio on this? Let's see. So that's keeping it the same size, but now our text isn't scaling. So that's not going to be the way to go. Okay. The background scales perfectly. Player portrait, we know this is already too large, so let's scale this down. Put this up here in the corner. There's definitely some scaling going on with this thing here. I think we need to adjust our anchors here. All right, bring those anchors in. Okay, and let's see if that helps with the scaling. Very nice, very smooth. I like that. So the size we wanted is a little bit smaller because we want our UI to be a little bit more minimalistic and we need it to match the size of this. So let's go ahead and move our anchors again. Now we'll set it to 1024, 768, and yeah, we've got that problem with it losing its, yeah, I see what the problem is. Okay. So let's go back to the player portrait. If we set this to a native size, that's what we get. So we need to start with this. Okay. Try this. I'm going to take all this stuff here, move it underneath the background. We'll pop the background out, set the native size on this. It fucked up some of our scaling, but it's not too bad. Then we'll take the player portrait and match the size. Okay, good, good. And then we'll take the background, make it a child again. And we're going to have that scale, and let's have it be nice and flush. Good. The rank icon went all to shit. So let's adjust that again. I think the rank icons, I'm just going to create a fixed series of images maybe. I feel like that might be less error prone than doing it dynamically like this. Okay, rank, so that scales here. There's the bubble. Okay. So now let's see if our scaling is nice and smooth. Very good. So now let's move this up into the corner. Set our anchors there. Okay. Now I want to shrink this down. Let's move it away just a little bit. A little bit smaller. Okay. I think that looks about right, maybe a little bit in. There we go. Now we're just going to set our anchors one more time. Okay, now let's see. Standalone. Player portrait. So it did. Okay, but we might be able to fix this. Hang on. Let's change it back to 1920. The background, let's preserve the aspect ratio. Then let's resize it, and let's see. Okay, so the text didn't like that. The text did not like that. But it fits well here. Interesting. Let's adjust those handles. Try that again. Yeah. It still doesn't like that. Everything else looks okay. I'm not sure what to do about that. I think we'll put that issue on hold for now. Okay, so let's do another script here. Let's do a script for create C# script, player portrait manager. Create a whole new folder for this because we might have, well, no, we'll keep it simple for now. All right, let's open that up in C#, or in Visual Studio, excuse me. All right. Using UnityEngine.ui. Okay, so we've got a bunch of stuff. Serialized field. Let's see, what are we looking for? Text, player name text, serialized field, image, player rank image, serialized field, text, games played text, serialized field, text, current ELO text, and that's a good starting point, I think. So we'll plug those in. Obviously the one in regards to the icon, we can't plug that one in because I haven't finished that yet. So let's add a player portrait. Okay, we've got our ELO text, games played text, player name text, and we'll start with those. Now the player portrait, I'm going to turn that into a UI prefab in the managed resources folder, because there may be times when we might want to reuse this. So we'll make that a prefab for now. You know what? Maybe not. Yeah, not for now. Because I was thinking when we do a match, we'd have, player, but like, I think we might be better off doing a custom UI for that. Yeah. Okay, so that's part of our matchmaking UI. Now let's edit this script. Let's do serialized field, player portrait manager, and here we're going to have functions like public void set, and then we're going to do string set name, public void set rank and ELO, int rank int. Oops, this is sloppy. Come on. Set games played, int games played, public void set ELO, int ELO. Okay. So this is player name text equals name, games played text, games played to string, current ELO text equals ELO to string. Okay, client matchmaking UI. We're going to listen to some more components. This can just be serialized field. We don't need to grab that. Client events instance account updated. On account updated. If account null, and that's just a sanity check really. Player portrait manager set player name, account dot player name very cool, very cool. I think this could work really soon, so that'll be kind of cool seeing that for the first time. And I think we could do that double shadow effect that we did with the other one as well. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we'll plug that in there. Then we'll plug this in here. Okay. So let's go ahead and turn that off. And our lobby navigation, let's turn that off. And let's get started on this. Okay, so we didn't get our background there. Start as active, let's see. Yeah. Okay, now let's log in. And there's our, there's our actual account name plugged in. Very, very cool. Okay, so that player name text, let's clear that out. Games played, we're going to set that to 0 by default. ELO icon, or ELO text, we're going to 0 that out too. Let's go ahead and turn this on. And I think I want to scale this down just a little bit more. There we go. And I think here what we're going to do is we're just going to have this be on by default. Let's see how that looks when we start it. Because we want it already to be there because there's the Unity splash screen, which is this. Yeah, that's very nice. That's very nice. Very cool. It's nice seeing that up there. Makes it feel real. Okay, now we need to do that double glow thing. Looks like we've got some shadowing to erase. So we'll fill that. Yeah, we've got some erasing to do. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's get nice clean lines. Just follow that up. Okay. And same thing here. This is easy because it's straight. Okay, do this one next. All right, very good, very good. Keep going. And we've got one more to do here. do a stroke just to see if anything pops out at us. No, it looks good. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to duplicate this layer. For this one, we want to do a outer glow, normal. We want to do it black. And we want that opacity quite strong with a decent size spread. And we'll go up to this one. And here we're going to rasterize that layer style. And then we're going to select the inverse and then just cut that out. Yeah, so we've got our shadow there. So now what we do is we're going to change this bottom layer from white to black. So now we're going to do our outer glow, and I think we should just grab, where's our outer glow here? And we'll grab that same color. You know what, we can just grab copy layer style, and we're going to paste that here. Now that's too large, that spread. It's a bit too large for us. Okay, and then we've got our shadow, which we can pop on top of that. Very nice, very nice. Okay, let's get rid of this. We'll add that back in, our separator. We don't need the bubble. Okay, let's see how that looks. Let's turn the Matchmaking UI tab back on. Okay, not bad. Not bad. It adds a little something to it. I forgot to turn that off. Okay. There's our login. Okay, so here's how it looks next to the other one. And I think what is pretty clear to see is that our glow here is much stronger. So let's play with these settings a little bit. Okay, we've got the outer glow here. Let's make that a little stronger. Size a little bit smaller. Alright, that's a little bit stronger. I think we can go a little bit bigger with the size. Okay, that really pops now, so that's a bit much. Let's bring that down, 29, 22. Okay. I feel like it should be smoother, our glow. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. So what if we just that. Change that curve a little bit. Okay, we lost a little bit of brightness there, so we'll add that back in. 20, let's do 26. Okay, it's not bad. I think maybe our shadow might be a bit strong. Bring that down a little bit. Yeah, and that makes the glow pop a little bit more too. feel like our glow is so much stronger. Yeah, I just can't find a happy medium with this. Alright, I'm leaving it at that. That's going to be fine. Okay, so that's pretty good. And we've got all of our buttons hooked in. Very nice. Alright, where do we go from here? I'm gonna whip up some meal prep lunch real quick. One sec. Okay, and the cats are happy to have food again. So on this screen, I think my goal is going to be to allow people to queue up and to show some statistics, maybe like news or something. This is the screen that I'm like least confident on right now. Okay, so we kind of broke our unit customization button, and we've got a nice tooltip there, which we definitely need to work on that tooltip a little bit. Rankings. We don't have any tooltips for the other ones. Okay, so let's fix that. So that's under the navigation, lobby. Okay, so we've got a simple tooltip here. Let's copy. We need one for the profile. Okay, competitive button. Unlock. Let's go ahead here. Races, units, and abilities. Open the settings window, log out. Okay, so those are good. Oh, I left this on, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Now, let's see, navigation bar. Let's see. Client.instance.set UI mode. Let's see. Profile. Let's see. I don't have one for this yet, so let's go ahead and just add one in. Competitive. All right. We're gonna do another one for unlock. Settings, client.instance.logout. Didn't I have an option here? Yeah, log out. I'm gonna comment out. You know what? Let's do client events, public event. Let's see. Client logged out. Okay. Got a login button event. Okay, so public event action, log out button clicked. Public void trigger log out button clicked event. Log.write log out button is clicked. Handler is log out button clicked. Handler not null. Invoke the handler. Okay, very nice. Then from here. So we'll leave this dummied out right now, and then here we're just going to trigger the event. Client events, instance, trigger logout button clicked event, and then here, client, we're just changing the UI here, that's all. Matchmaking. Oh, we need another one up here. Unit customization, yeah, there it is. Okay, nice. Let's try those out, and then I'm gonna get some food in me. I'm really hungry. I had a fantastic breakfast, but I need some protein. Okay, let's see how this goes. So we fade in. There we go. Let's log in. All right, now let's go to unit customization. Nice. Oh, I see a problem already. So our player information icon is now gone. And I think we want to keep that between all of the interface. So we're going to take that out of the matchmaking interface. We've got some really weird shit here in the profile. Got nothing here, nothing here. Our settings window, and then that. Interesting, the setting window seems to block other things. Okay, so we'll work on that in a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Got some leftover protein pasta and some spring rolls here. Okay, so we're going to pick up on working on this unit customization UI. Let's turn that on for a second. So this is what we're looking at. And yesterday, or no, the day before yesterday, this is kind of the mock-up that we had. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, we're going to get rid of this container. It's going to go away. We're going to full screen this. There we go. Let's move this up a little bit, okay. We don't need a header container. Do we have that up here? No. Yeah, I don't think we need a label. You know, if we do the UI correctly, it shouldn't need explanation, right? That's the idea. Okay. So why do we have this container? Let's just get rid of that. Goodbye. So we want this up here-ish. We got the multi-race selector, we got the navigation container, content container, and we've got a background image. Let's get rid of that. God, so much wasted shit here. Alright, we'll get rid of that. So there's our card loader. Let's have that stretch. Okay. I love when Unity does stuff like this. It's always great. And then for some reason saving just fixes all of it. The unit stats, we're going to move this over. And we're going to move it down. We're going to stretch this up. We're going to make this, it doesn't scale. Okay, alright, we'll leave that where it is for a second. Unit abilities, we're going to move off to the right as well. Trying to get the same amount of spacing here. And we're going to scale this up as well. Then we've got the cost and selected unit options. Let's move that down. We had that down, didn't we? Yeah, we did. And we'll do a different frame for that, I can already tell, so we'll do that later. Okay. Now, 3D container frame, so that's what we're going to work on next. Got a background image there, we'll get rid of that. Got 3D container, get rid of that. Wait, yeah, that's the interior container, we'll get rid of that. And then we've got our 3D preview, which currently looks like this. It's interesting. 3D preview, let's take our camera. And we're going to do black with full transparency for the background. There we go. So we can move this up. We don't need that anymore. Okay, this we can scale up full size. Yeah. And this one the same. There we go. Lulu the Killer says, tell us about yourself. Are there any small Asian people in your life that are a source of inspiration? It's almost like an inverse proportion, you know, like the smaller, the more inspirational, and that means quite a lot to me. It's nice to see you, Linz. Thanks for watching or listening if you're at work. Okay, so let's see here. What am I missing here? Okay, you know what? Let's just leave this for a second and let's test it, and then we'll see where we go from there. Because I have a feeling that I need to adjust the camera. I feel like that's going to be a huge mess. So let's run this. And let's log in. Then we'll go to unit customization. And so I clicked on the mage and I'm not seeing anything. Let's take a look. Let's switch this to 3D mode and let's go over here. Do we actually have the mage turned on? We've got no errors in our output here. Let's see. Human, mage. Oh, my, I think what's happening is my 3D container. Let's go back to 2D. Yeah, I'm raycasting this. I think that's what's happening. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, so I need to move that up here so that it's behind everything else. Then I can turn my raycasting back on. There we go. We don't need this image anymore. I'll have to remove that again. Okay, so that's a start. Okay, not bad, not bad. It's actually better than I thought it would be. And the great thing about this is that when you zoom in like this, you can just see how extremely low quality the graphics are. All right. Okay, so let's fix a couple of those things we just fixed. I'll move this up. We can get rid of this image since we don't need that. There's our render image, that's fine. Now, we had this 3D object. Okay, this is at 10,000 on the x-axis. Let's see here, prefabs. Where did we have it? It wasn't in this, it wasn't under ornament? No, it was... Oh, Christ. Let's see. We want something nice for the units to stand on so that we can present them in a nice way. I'm looking for anything that would work for this. Yeah, here's what it was. So we were using this. Let's turn off 2D mode. Yeah, so that's what we're using. So, all right, let's get rid of the mesh component on this. We don't need that. Then let's go to the material, and what do we have this material as? We have as a standard with a normal map. Let's take a look at that texture. Okay, so quite a bit going on here. I think the first thing to do is just to get this in position. So we'll call this 3D preview stand, because the units are going to stand on it. And then we'll zero it out. Oops, I need that rotation change. There we go. Now the camera is looking okay that way. That's interesting, that's fine. Now our 3D preview manager, let's edit this script. We've got a preview camera. Now I know that we don't want to move this ever. So, oh, but we can keep a reference to it for setting it. Camera start position, let's get rid of that, because we are not going to need to adjust the camera position dynamically anymore. Let's see, where am I referencing this? Game object set active, that's fine. Okay, we'll get rid of that reference there. Are we doing it anywhere else? No. Okay, so that should keep the camera from moving around. Okay, let's launch this. Let's get back into it. And let's see how things look. So let's log in, switch over to unit customization. This is what I'm seeing. So we obviously need to adjust that. That's a bit weird. So let's take our preview camera. Let's move it back, move it up, back, up, a little bit more, and let's take our biggest creature, the Gorgomon, and we're going to turn that on, and you can see, I mean, it's just absolutely massive. So we need to plan for the biggest creature we're ever going to display here. So I'm going to keep moving the camera until we get this to a reasonable-ish size. Let's see, maybe we can angle the camera down more. Does that make sense? And then the preview stand, this is zeroed out right now, but we actually want it to be at the base of his feet. Okay, so let's turn off Gorgomon for a second. And let's turn on an imp, for example, and the imp is just tiny. I mean, really tiny. So we'll get that underneath his feet. There we go. So if we switch between that and Gorgomon, we do get somewhat of a sense of scale. Unfortunately, the scale is so great that, well, Gorgomon simply cannot be restrained. Here's what I'm seeing. So it's just taking up a bit too much space. Oh, that's good. Now, we could take this and move it off to the right. That would be one thing we could do. We can also condense the stats window and move the abilities underneath it. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. So, on the right side, we would have the grid of unit cards representing all the available units, and then we'd have stats with abilities underneath. That could work. Okay, move that over. I think that this is close, but we need a better platform than this. What can we do? Do I have any prefabs that are better than this? I've got barrels and walls. Got some frozen stuff. Let's see. Stairs, arches, stone statues. You know, this thing looks like it would be really cool, but it doesn't actually look that great. What about this miscellaneous stuff? There's a carpet. That could be one way to do it. Orc buildings, obelisk, mushrooms, rails, light sources, rocks. I don't know. Pillars, fountain. No. Fantasy set. No. There's nothing good here. Explosives, dwarf pack. Oh, these are the actual, okay, dwarf deco, no. Desert pack, no. Coffin, chisel, bushes, bridges, no. Oh man, barricades, anything I can use here? No, it's just nothing good. Let's see if there's anything on the asset store. Unity asset store. Let's shop on the old store. 3D models. What are we looking for? Platform, maybe? Let's try that. Skull platform. Oh shit, that's pretty good. And it's free? Oh my god. Who made this? OV? I don't know you. Oh, it's all he's ever made. It's just one kind of perfect platform. Matter transporter, oil rig platform. Okay, I mean that's kind of perfect. So let's just okay, we had some settings here. So 3D preview stand, we had that at minus 9.01. Just put that in Notepad real quick. And then our preview camera was at 6.3 minus 14.7 with rotation at 10. Okay, so let's set those values again. 10, 6.3 minus 14.7, and the preview stand, we had that at minus 0.901. Asset store. I'm just going to go ahead and sign out and then sign back in because it's going to make me do it anyway. Shop on old store. What is this called? Skull platform. So we'll search for that. There it is. Download. Oh, come on. You're gonna really, for this, you're gonna make me upgrade to 2017? It's so annoying. So for stuff like this, I have another version of Unity installed. So let's see here, Unity 2018.2. So we'll download it, then we'll copy it. It's really unnecessary that it has to be this way. They should just let you import it, and then if stuff breaks, stuff breaks. Like, that should be how it works. So there it is. Download. Go. And import. Good Lord, that's a lot of shit. Meshes, I don't need a demo scene. I promise I don't. I don't need documentation, particle effects, or prefabs. Just give me the thing. I guess more is better from a creative standpoint. Alright, so now I've got my folder. We can close this. Let's see here. We're at test project, assets, skull platform. We're just going to throw that into our prefabs folder here, and then Unity is going to pick that up. Okay, so now we can grab that from our prefabs folder. Let's go ahead and minimize all the other stuff we just opened. Keep things nice and clean. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Meshes. So he has all of this in separate. Oh, he's got it with ramps and everything. Very cool. I see. Well, I'm going to go with this one. And we're going to move this here. Zero that out. Okay, so here's the problem with this mesh. Oh, we've got a LOD group. Let's remove that. So this is LOD1. Okay. Turn on LOD0. What is the difference? Which one has more polys? That's the material, not the mesh. Okay, LOD. So LOD1 has 962 triangles. LOD0 has 3,400. So that's the one we're going to go with, LOD0. And we've got the material on there. Now, this skull is kind of a problem for me. I wonder if I can, let's see. Okay. Let's see, we've got, yeah, I want to flatten out this mesh and then, all right, we're going to have to do some Maya work here to get this quite right. So we're going to hack this thing a little bit and get it to look just the way we want it to. Because the problem right now I have is that, like, I can't have something standing on, like, the bridge of the nose of the skull. That's just not going to work. I need this part to be flat. I need it to be very large and flat, so that when I have a large creature like Gorgomon who's standing there, that it still looks good. So I think the easiest way to do that is just to sink everything down. So that way the UVs and everything is still mapped the exact same, but we're going to flatten this thing. So let's import that here. This is a FBX file. It's got LOD in it, so we'll see how Maya handles that. Okay. So it does have separate meshes. So let's see, edit unparent. Edit unparent. Get rid of this. Can't. Okay. So LOD0 is the one that we wanted. Edit, delete all by type history. Alright, whatever. So here is our mesh. Okay. Now I want to look at this. Let's take some faces. How do I want to do this? Alright, let's do a ring loop maybe. So we'll take face and then double click that. And then can we just make that really thin? And I know by doing so we kind of raised it a little bit, so we'll bring that down. No, that's not the right way to do that. Yeah, let's do another edge loop instead of a face loop. So we'll take this edge, yeah, and we'll move that down to here. Let's take this edge loop. Now we're really flattening this thing. Okay. we'll take that one. Let's bring that down. Next one. And just ring by ring, we move everything down, flattening this thing. Oh, I see that he has the... Oh, that didn't loop all the way around, did it? There we go. That's the whole ring. Nope, missing these two back here. And these ones over here. Wonder why I didn't select the whole ring. Okay, let's move that down. Oh man, this is so hard to see. Okay. Now, let's go to object mode and let's do mesh separate. And yeah, he has that top part as a separate mesh. Interesting. Okay, let's do another edge loop here. I'll bring this down. So that's pretty flat. Let's go to object mode. Oh, I see. Okay, he has everything separate. And then you cut that out. That sucks, but oh well, that's fine. All right. So let's take this, and we're going to, let's see, is that everything? Yeah. Okay, mesh, combine, edit, delete all by type history, file, send to Unity, just the selection. And where did my music go? Let's do a little tribute to someone. What is it called? Come on. What's his name? Come on. Da, 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 da. You know what, we'll just do, some cascade. Yeah. Cascade? Cascade? I have no idea. Okay, so let's output this. Assets, skull, where is it? Prefabs. Skull platform. We'll call this custom skull platform version 1. Forgot the 1 there at the end. And let's throw that into our scene and see what it looks like. So we have a hole here in the middle. You know, I don't really think that this platform needs a skull. I think that actually takes away from it a little bit. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to shrink the edge loops to the point where they're basically closed. So let's go back into Maya. We'll get rid of this. I don't know why I can't delete objects, but whatever. Okay, let's take an edge loop here, and let's just bring this all the way in, as small as we can get it. There we go. Now let's take the same thing here, Looks like we didn't select everything. Almost. So we'll bring that in a little bit. Okay. Go back to object mode, file, send to Unity, selection, call this version 2. Alright. And let's see how that looks. Alright, that's pretty cool. We've got some weird shadowing going on here. Interesting. What can we do about this? Let's do a experimental thing. So let's file, save as, desktop, RTS, Maya. Do a new folder, call this Skull Platform. So if we make any big mistakes, we can always undo that. So let's take these faces and just, oh come on, why doesn't my delete key work? Modify mesh. Edit mesh. Okay, why can't I delete this? Okay, there we go. Let's take this and... Alright, that's weird. Okay. Let's take this loop. I don't know why I have to zoom like a maniac to get that to work, but whatever. Alright, got that ring gone. Now let's do the last ring. We've got, I think, 2 more here. Interesting. Maya always has the most interesting bugs. Okay. Let's save this as version 2. And let's do edge. And let's go ahead and bring this all the way in. This is one way to fill this hole, but not the only way. And let's go object mode, send to Unity. Come on, send to Unity. Unity selection, and this is going to be version 3. Alright, let's see how that looks. Now my worry was that the textures here on the top would be very distorted, but it looks like I don't have anything to worry about. They look like they handled it pretty well. Okay, so I think version 3 is going to be the one we go with. So let's delete these. We'll take version 3 and we'll make it a child of the preview stand. That's fun. Let's go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees. Alright. And I had the floor height set correctly. So right about there. So we can take this, we'll name this preview stand, we'll delete the old one. Now we had some nice materials, there we go. Now this has quite a bit of normal mapping on it. I think we can dial that down a good bit. Okay, okay. All right, let's see how that looks with the unit customization UI. Looks like we got the feet almost right. So let's go ahead and log in. Switch to 2D mode so you guys can see. And let's turn on the unit customization and turn on a mage. So that's what it looks like right now. It's not bad, but we've got some weird shadowing going on right here. So let's take a look and see why that's happening. This right here, there's very strange shadowing. Let's see. Got an occlusion map here. Does that do anything? It just makes the cracks a little bit stronger. Got some emission going on? No, let's turn that off. Okay. We can get rid of that occlusion. Now, if we take that stand and we rotate it, does that help at all? No, that shadow's there no matter what. But let's go ahead and rotate this 45 degrees, yeah? And then I think we're gonna need a bigger stand. So let's go to the demons, we'll turn on Gorgomon. And yeah, we're gonna need a bigger stand for this guy. So let's make this a little bit bigger. And that should fit him. So now we can flick through our demons. And yeah, one by one we can see how big each one is. I have to say that looks really, really cool. Really happy with this. The stone being like this bluish color, it contrasts very strongly with the rest of the colors that we've got going on back here. So we're gonna modify that. So I'm gonna take a print screen here just to get some sample colors. And let's go ahead and take a light color, swap these colors, take a dark color, we'll delete that, we'll do a new one, filter, render clouds. Okay, let's do filter, blur, Gaussian blur, that's too much. There we go. And I'm gonna have this as a color layer, and I'm gonna set that like that. Let's save this as Alt. Okay, so let's go to this, let's go to the material, and let's go ahead and replace this with this. Okay, now it's very, very dark now. It matches the colors, but it's very dark. So I think we're going to take a layer, add that on top here, and we're going to do lighten, and let's start with 24%. Let's see how that looks. Not very noticeable, I would say. Okay, let's bump it up to 64%. Interesting. It's interesting that that's not getting any lighter, even though our color is, I mean, that's really strange. If I turn this off, yeah, there's absolutely no change in the color here. Why? Why? Okay, let's take a look at our preview stand. Cast shadows, blend probes, materials. Do we not have light maps for this thing? Let's see here. Object maps. Yeah, we've got nothing here. Maybe that's why. Okay, so this is static. To enable generation of light maps for this mesh renderer, please enable. Okay. And then generate lighting. Okay, now we've got lighting for this thing. Alright. So let's see if that's any different. Let's go to unit customization. We'll turn that on. No, it's still very, very dark. I mean, the mage basically pops in comparison to the rest of it. And if we turn this on, it doesn't actually make our texture lighter, which is so strange. I mean, if we were set this to 100%, our object should just be plain white. There's no reason that this should have any... Am I missing something entirely here? Ah, I see. Okay. I didn't have the right thing plugged in. I am saving this, yeah. There we go. Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's rotate this guy to face us. Switch over to something a bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Man, I really like the way that looks. I think we can make some changes to our camera here as well. I think 5-degree angle, yeah. And then we can take our camera, move it back a little bit more and lower. No. What do I want to do here? Maybe 2.5? Yeah. And then let's zoom out a little bit, but then let's bring that up. Okay, let's see how that looks with Mr. Gorgomon. I mean, he's huge. There's nothing we can do about that, except increase the scale of the platform. Okay, that's interesting. Let's take this highlight off and see how it looks. So we go back to that very, very dark look. Okay, so this is lighten. Let's start with 11% and see how that looks. Yeah, that's better. That's better. I think we can maybe do a layer here for the inner circle that's a little bit brighter. So that would be from here to here. Yeah, this is kind of a cool idea. And then we'll take a gradient and we'll do a white fade. We don't want, I guess we could do radial. Let's reverse that. Yeah, there we go. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that really added a lot. And then I just want to check something here. I'm going to just draw an X here. I just want to see if I'm right on the money here with this idea. Okay, that's on there. Let's see, is it here? That's there, okay. Is this the top? Might be the top. No, it doesn't look like it. Is this it? Let's see. No, okay. I'm just guessing here. I was hoping to make the that shadow on the inside go away a little bit, but this is probably too much that I care here. Okay, I think that looks good. So let's switch back to Gorgomon for a second, and let's adjust the scale of our stand here. So we're going to make that bigger. There we go. And that fills up our screen and makes it look better just overall. So our scale is 1.27. So we'll use that as the scale. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a particle system underneath the stand. So let's put that here. I'm going to switch from Gorgomon to somebody else. Somebody that doesn't have a ton of particle effects. Alright, so let's do a shape. Let's do a circle. Let's increase that radius to about, yeah. Change the speed to 0. And let's change the lifetime to 3. Gravity multiplier. We're going to do a range between -0.1 and -0.2. And what you get is the particles drifting up. But it looks like that doesn't like to play well with our rendered texture. When it goes into the, here, take a look. When it goes into the empty space, it disappears. I wonder if there's anything that we can do with that. Material default particle. I don't know, maybe I'm getting a bit too fancy with this. I mean, I could put some like nice glowing runes or something on the floor, but I don't know. All right, too involved. Okay, so let's modify that stand. We were at 1.2 something. There we go. And let's light map this thing again. Cool. Okay, what else? So we want to go back to our UI now. Let's see, we're looking at the unit customization UI. Okay, so that's where we're at. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a half-hour break here, get some other things done, and just take a little break. So I'm going to stop the stream here, and we'll come back. So I, put in a nice 3 hours already. I feel pretty good about that. So yeah, we'll stop here, and I'll come back in just a little bit. Till then.